All right, this clip is from Sara Blakely. She is the founder of Spanx. I love her story. I have so many little sound bites from her, and I want to share this one, which is hire your weaknesses. I think this is so important. You're going to see a theme in my content and some of the stories that I'm going to share about a bird and fish and hybrid cars and glasses and no glasses. So bear with me. This one's a quick one, and here we go.
Pulling their weight too and making a difference. And I hired a CEO 2 years into it that made a very big difference for the business. I always tell people, as soon as you can afford to hire your weaknesses, do it. So 2 years on the road, I saw my limitations, what I liked doing, what I didn't like doing, what I was good at, what I wasn't good at, and I brought her on, and that really moved the company forward and let me focus on the creative side and the sales.
So she goes on to say, let me focus on the things I'm great at. So when people hear this, I have known intuitively that there's things I need help with, and there's things I'm good at, there's things I'm not good at. And in my video production career, what's interesting is it took me 2 years out of high school to break $100,000 in my video production company. I was 21 years old, and I went 4,000, 8,000, 60,000, 40,000, over 100,000. Basically, 2008, I broke $100,000 in revenue, in gross revenue, in one single year in my production company. And then I went up in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2012, and then I went down in 2013, partly because of the story and the theme you'll see in other videos. I'm not going to go in extreme detail on every single one of these, but I was pursuing coaching and basically not continuing to focus on my video production company. What I find fascinating, though, is that I had a lot of people around me, but it wasn't intentional. I didn't do it because I felt that I needed to do it, or that teamwork makes the dream work, or any of those lines. It's just that it's what happened. So I had a lot of structure and I had a lot of support around me. And something you also see as a theme is something I called stove moments. So thank God I, by and large, didn't have a lot of emotional trauma growing up, and I had a childhood that was pretty solid overall. And I don't have much recollection of anything too negative or hindering that prevented me from being a person who basically, the shirt I have on says MIA, Massive Inspired Action, but I have an audiobook called Massive Imperfect Action. And when I was basically going to speak in Germany, in Berlin, and I think it was 2014, I was looking back at my life, and one of the things that I had seen of all the success that I had in video production was from MIA, from Massive Imperfect Action. And I thought that there was a time not too long ago that I had completely and entirely embodied Massive Imperfect Action. But what's interesting is it took me a decade to break $100,000 in revenue in coaching. But in video, I did it in 2 years. So what happened there? I would say I adopted a different acronym, not MIA, but rather MOA, which was Massively Overthinking Actions. I don't know how many of you are MOAing right now and you're massively overthinking your actions, but I was a person who, because of a lack of stove moments or things that were emotionally traumatizing, things that I did that was like, don't do that again, I did anything and everything. I was a wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, take action, do anything, everything, go anywhere, go everywhere, work all day, do all sorts of things. My company was called Geb's Total Video, and it was great. And with that, I had a lot of success. But a year and a half into my company, a good friend of mine, Andy Man, passed away of a heart attack at 25 years old. And that was the beginning of a series of things that would happen from early 20s to late 20s, early 30s. There were a stacking of stove moments on top of each other that by the time I was in my, just a few years ago, quite frankly, I was no longer actually taking massive imperfect action. I did from time to time. I took some imperfect action. It wasn't like I never did it. But to the degree that I did it from probably 20 to 28, maybe, to the degree I took more action in 3 months at 22 years old than I did it probably 3 years when I was 33 to 36. And what I found was that a lot of the structure and support around me that I had accidentally started to disappear. And that's when just last year I got a diagnosis of ADHD, and on either the video's already up or it's going to be coming up with my brain scans from the Amen clinics and really diving deep into understanding myself and how I'm wired. And this is where I see that just like some people wearing glasses is a necessity, and other people who have 20/20 vision, it's nice to wear, it's nice to have, it's nice to, oh, these look cool. But some people need them. And I find that some people in life, especially the ADHDers and the neurodivergent thinkers, these people, there's things that they need to do or to implement potentially that will be the difference between success and failure. And I think, again, anything is possible, but then some things you're going to be making your life far more difficult than needed. So depending on what kind of career you're trying to build or what type of business you're trying to build will depend on to what degree of help. It doesn't mean you have to spend $25,000 a day or a month or a year on support. You may just need a little contractor off Fiverr to help you with something. Just like with this content, I have on and off for years recorded content, put up content. But most of that time, I would do it all myself. I was competent, I was capable, I know how to do it, but yet this part, the recording part, is the part, it's come on now, I got this. And I could do this all day, every day. But there's a lot of little things afterwards to get that on the old interwebs for you to watch and for you to enjoy. And it's not a lack of incompetence or being incapable or not knowing how to do it or not being driven to do it. I've had a lot of drive in the past, but over and over again, one day I recorded 67 Instagram Reels in 2 hours. No problem, no big deal. And then I put up about 20 of them and then I ignored them. Now, if I would have had help, they could have kept coming out. But because I didn't, because you'll see in my brain scan, when I'm doing flow tasks, I'm active brain. When I'm doing focus tasks, I'm inactive brain. And so the inactive brain, it's very difficult and mind-numbing for me to do certain things. I can push, I can force, I can do all sorts of hacks, but it would be better to just get help or eliminate those things. But putting out content is something near and dear to my heart to make an impact on you. And I know that if I want to show up and do this regularly, it's better for me to delegate the activities than it is to eliminate them. I can't just record the videos and never put them online myself, or I'd probably bring out a video every few weeks, or I could have recorded and been in the zone and recorded and released them all in one day, and I would record 67 videos in a day, and then I wouldn't do anything for weeks. And not getting into algorithms and all that, but that won't necessarily be the most beneficial thing. And so, anyways, teamwork makes the dream work, and for some people, it is how they will work, and it will work for you. If you're interested in having a coach's commentary here, leave me a comment below on something you'd like me to leave some thoughts about. But I love doing these videos because this is something I do for my private clients. I'm always tuning up hearts and minds, one at a time, so your dreams don't die in your hearts, your head, or your hard drives. I'm here to help you become the mechanic of your own mind. So subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking, keep rolling.